Diddy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy ththings that's going on with this story, Diddy, right? I mean, a lot of people are calling him the Epstein of the music, the Hollywood world, the business, what do you call it, the entertainment world. I'll read this story, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on this here. So here's a story. Sean Diddy Combs' former bodyguard claims music mogul had tapes of politicians and princes out there. And we'll play this clip in a minute. Gene Deal, who was present the night before Notorious B.I.G. Biggie was fatally shot in 1997, made the sensational comments during an interview with Art of Dialogue YouTube channel. And here's what he had to say. Go for it, Rob.
After finding out he was recording everything.
But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there.
Uh-oh.
He also had a couple of preachers in there.
Oh, damn.
Is he talking about who I think he's talking about?
You think?
Is he?
Hallelujah.
Cat Williams commented on that.
Cat Williams definitely brought him
On
up.
a preacher?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what preacher that is?
I don't.
Okay. You don't know the preacher that was seen with Diddy at one of the parties that Cat Williams says, I don't care whether you're T.D. Jakes or Diddy.
Oh, yeah.
So
he was the truth is coming out in 2024.
Listen, again, this is allegedly. That's what he's saying. Your thoughts on this story here?
So it wasn't just this guy that was saying it. Lil Rod, the former producer, filed the lawsuit, and he said every room in Diddy's mansions were wired with cameras. And he had some of the footage, he had some of the pictures, and he displayed those in the lawsuit that came out. And this was used for blackmail material. They'd bring in these people. A lot of these people were also aspiring young artists in the music industry. And then these parties were sponsored by Motown Records CEO, Universal Records CEO. This goes all the way to the top. And so you get these people in compromising situations. The drinks were laced. Their videotapes were hot. And then at the end of the day, you wake up the next morning, what did I do? And then they have compromising material on you. And then they can guide your career. They could kill your career, but they got you. And it wasn't just people in the music business. As you said, there were athletes, there were celebrities, there were politicians, people from the royal family. And we were also told by the former bodyguard that Diddy was an FBI informant. Whoa. So he was a snitch and was feeding information to the feds. And we don't know what that means. We haven't been able to confirm it, but even Little Rod said it's not just like Epstein. It could be worse than Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, let me ask you this: when you're seeing something like that, do you think, you know how somebody is making money for you, you can't lose them because they're still making money for you, right? So, for example, like an athlete, LeBron James, he's still getting a lot of endorsements. He's still making a lot of money. You got to make sure you protect that asset because that guy's making you a lot of money. I think the number one person right now that you have to protect in music is Taylor Swift. You have to protect her. It's a big insurance policy. She's young. She's going to be around for a long time to come. The concerts, the money making, the $5 billion, the tours, all that stuff. Nothing can go wrong with her because if God forbid something happens, you're making money off of her.
You
right?
don't take Taylor to a Diddy party.
Oh, yeah.
You don't go anywhere near a freak-off party.
That's right. So here's where I'm going with this. Do you think Diddy's at a phase that, how do you make money off Diddy today? Because what's Diddy doing today? He's not performing. So is it more that you protect Diddy because the people that he knows that he can destroy their lives, that you kind of like have to keep him quiet? Or do you have to find a way to eliminate him, kind of like they try to eliminate this guy named Jeffrey?
I don't know if he was being eliminated by the FBI or even by the Universal Records executives. What happened was Cassie filed this lawsuit. He settled in about 48 hours.
Very fast.
So then everybody goes, oh, what? Diddy settling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody starts filing. And so Lil Rod files some real graphic, nasty stuff. We're talking minors, sex trafficking, ecstasy and the alcohol, and then all hell blows loose. And that's when the feds come in and raid, and they go right to the camera system and pull all the servers out. And they, I believe, arrested the drug mule. And so they're closing in. They're going to build a case. And look, is this something that's coming down at the highest level? I have no idea. But I know Diddy's life is about to blow up. And there's really no way to get out of this.
And I want to say this, and Vinny, I want to go to you because Ashton Kutcher is seen as he prepares to be subpoenaed on Diddy's case. That's one. Next one, Sean Diddy Combs' ex Cassie, that he paid off, I think $30 million, whatever the number is, cooperating with federal investigations amid the sex trafficking probe.
That's bad.
That's very bad,
That's
right?
bad.
So next one, Sean Diddy Combs still continues carefree in Miami. This is a story from yesterday.
Yep.
Lifestyle by smoking and drinking after federal raids. Sean Diddy Combs' youngest son, Christian King, 25, is now sued. So it's like it isn't one thing, it's another thing constantly popping up. Vinny,
But just from my point of view, though, he's in Miami. He's riding bikes. He's taking photos. He seems as if he doesn't have a care in the world. To me, somebody from the outside looking in, it seems like they were like, hey, listen, especially with the Cassie thing, that thing blew the top off of everything. We have to go in there. You don't be there. We're going to make the play. We're going to grab all the footage and everything. I think people are going to fall. Nothing is going to happen to him. He's going to be protected. But they've been using Diddy for how long, Jesse? From the politicians, from Maxine Waters?
So back in 2004, he launched Vote or Die.
Yep.
So he was for Kerry. Then he was for Obama.
Yep.
Then it was for Hillary. And then he's for Biden. So he has been the community organizer for the Democratic Party in the streets for about 20 years. He's a valuable asset.
Big time. Big time. And they gave it, like, he started Revolt through
Maxine
Waters.
gave him a cut in order for that merger to go through. She said, my guy has to get a piece of the pie.
So if you think about it, he's obviously in with these higher up politicians. You're in there recording all these people and having all this dirt, like they say with Epstein was working for Mossad, or God knows who he was working for. Who knows who Diddy was? Like, he's not recording all these people, all these princes, just to have like footage for when he's older to show to his kids. This is a coordinated thing, and I think the Cassie thing blew the top off. And now they're like, we have to go in and make sure nothing is incriminating for us, or else he does.
Right, because when they went in and raided Epstein's mansions, we never saw any of that footage.
Not 1 minute.
Only Ghislaine Maxwell went down.
Bingo.
They never got anybody else, and he had tapes in Little St. James. He had tapes in the Upper East Side. He had tapes in New Mexico and Palm Beach. We never heard anything else about that.
Exactly.
Jesse, you said something a little bit earlier that I was like, whoa, because he's been called the Black Epstein.
Yeah.
You said earlier that this could even be worse than Epstein. How do you feel about that? Like, that's a pretty shocking statement.
That's what Lil Rod alleges in the lawsuit.
But you've covered this. How do you stand on?
I don't know if he's talking about the violence towards women or the age or the age factor of the minors or the drug factor. Epstein, there was not a lot of drugs. This case has drugs.
Yeah.
This case has lots of narcotics. If you read the filings, we're talking meth, cocaine, PCP, ecstasy.
The stuff in the drink to make you pass out so you don't remember whatever.
Roofies.
Roofies.
We also have a hangover.
Yeah, everybody was getting roofied. And apparently, everybody. There was even conversations of. I just saw another video where Diddy is giving a drink to Justin Bieber, and we keep seeing videos with him and Justin Bieber, and like they're making sure that Justin Bieber's drinking it. And there's another cut of him in the party, and Justin Bieber just looks like a little bit.
What
off.
age was he at the time?
Does it really matter at that point? Justin Bieber's now just. I mean, he was young with blonde hair. Like he was like what, 17, 18.
Did you see this video?
Yo,
Watch him pat him down.
Look, this is
checking
recently
for potential.
Look, he's touching
wires. Watch
he's
this.
touching his chest. He's touching his chest. Make sure you don't have a wire on you. Look at that.
I got a message. Weird. I'm trying to see. I'm not going to reveal the source, but I got a message from a guy saying that some of this has to do with that drink company. Diageo. That is, if you look at, can you type in what Diageo's market cap is?
They're
Pull up,
massive.
Type in Diageo market cap.
Right.
Yeah, right there. If you just type in Diageo market cap, $81 billion. Yeah. And what this insider said to me, just purely on what could happen, it's given. I'm not giving a source. It
speculation.
Could be speculation. Yeah. He said they owe him $2 billion. And he said it could be the fact that they are doing this to not have to pay him $2 billion. Wow. Now, can you just type in Diageo owes Diddy $2 billion. See if anything like that comes up. Diageo owes Diddy $2 billion. That's a lot of money. Go to news. Can you go just to news at the top? Let's see what stories pop up. Can you go a little lower? Okay. Diddy Diageo in decline of Sean Combs' business empire. Sean Diddy Combs dumped by Diageo, maker of Johnny Walker.
Diddy sues.
Sean Diddy and Combs at Diageo settle withdrawal lawsuit in case of Diageo of racism. Okay. So there's something that's going on there that is, kind of ugly? And obviously, the people that are saying that, they're supporters of him. So they're kind of like saying there's something going on that you guys are not seeing, right? It's another thing that you got to consider. What do you know about that?
I've seen litigation between those two, and there's a racial charge there as well. And if they've settled, and I also heard Diddy double cross them. So I don't really know what's going on at that level, but I do know that you said you don't think Diddy's going down. I disagree.
And why do you think that?
And I think if you have the feds go in there and seize everything in the house, phones, electronics, video cameras, and he has multiple civil suits in play, do you think Universal Records is going to take the fall?
Well,
I don't think Universal Records is going to take the fall. Do you
think lesser players are? Because just think about it, the day that they raided, he wasn't there, and his jet flew with God knows what, he wasn't on it, to a place that doesn't have any U.S. extradition. Maybe all the tapes and everything, that was just like a delivery method. Because why else is he dancing and having a great time in the streets? He's not delusional.
Because it's great PR.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you this. Here's a question for all of you guys. Here's a question for, but Rob, can you run a poll on this? Who was more powerful and feared, Harvey Weinstein or Diddy? Put the poll. I'm curious to know what the audience will say. Again, hear me out. It's a very important question. Okay, think about this one before we answer it. Process it.
Go ahead.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yep.
One of the top 4 Godfathers, Hollywood controlled, all of that stuff, the amount of power he had. And he was not a visible guy. He's a behind the closed door guy.
Yep.
Clintons, presidents, all that stuff. Or Diddy, music, hip hop, links of Biggie's death, Tupac's death, what he's done with all these girls, J-Lo, all these names that are tied to him. Who is a bigger man to fall?
To fall, you said to fear.
No, fear and fall, meaning like which one can that industry not afford to fall that they have to protect?
I think Diddy because of all because Weinstein
you think Diddy over Weinstein?
Because I think Weinstein was movies and that, but Diddy now we're seeing was politics, presidents, musicians, elites. I think Diddy.
I don't even think it's close. I think it's Weinstein, man. This guy,
Hollywood,
bro.
What do you think?
The fear is. I think
there's a big difference in Hollywood.
But did he have anybody murdered? Did he have anybody killed? Diddy allegedly had not only 2 guys murdered, he's shooting people.
You know what the purpose of this question is? Who is more untouchable? Weinstein or Diddy?
Well, obviously,
I thought Weinstein was untouchable until he wasn't.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Exactly.
So the point he's making when he's asking you the question to say, do you really think he's not going to go down and he's protected? And he said, yes, he is protected. Okay. I had Bernard Carrick at the house. We're having lunch yesterday or 2 days ago, right?
Bernie.
And so I said, so in New York, for the longest time, when you watch these movies, right? Mobster, great movie, the old Mobster movie where it's the story of Lucky and Meyer Lansky and Frank and Ben Siegel and all this stuff. Phenomenal. If you want to know the history of mob, that's the movie to watch. A beautiful movie filled with a lot of facts on what happened. Nobody ever thought that the mob was going to fall. Nobody ever thought. They thought it were the Untouchables. There's a movie, I think, called The Untouchables, right? Or a show that was called
the movie Untouchables.
Kevin Costner.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then the day the 240 whatever guys are walking out like this and just going out and saying, wait a minute, how many judges did they have? How many cops did they pay off? How many guys in politics did they have? And nobody thought anything was going to happen to them. Do you think something like that it's about to happen where you see a bunch of these music industry, Hollywood moguls coming out like that? Like you think it's going to be that ugly? You think it's going to be more like... Because look, Harvey Weinstein, have you seen his latest pictures, what he looks like? He went from the powerful guy to sitting there like this and having hard...
wheelchair.
That demon.
What do you think?
I think you're never going to see a guy like Universal Records CEO or a Motown Records CEO go down. Those guys are executives. They're well-connected. They're going to make Diddy take the fall. And
you think so?
Because there can always be another Diddy. Someone else will pop up and do the same thing. This was a widespread operation. It was a racketeering conspiracy where these record companies would then sponsor these parties, hand Diddy loads of cash that he used for the drugs, the trafficking, and this was all videotaped. And then they would profit from these young people that came up in the business that were at these parties. They took them to the studios, they signed them to labels, and then they used them to make money. And this was a grand scheme. If the feds want to go all the way up the food chain on it, they can go as high as they want. But something tells me they're going to suppress it and have one guy take the fall.
Do you guys think? Do you guys? Sorry, Tom. Do you guys think that which one's more like more probable? Him going to jail and getting in trouble for it, or something, God forbid, happening where he kills himself because he can't take it like Epstein? Which one, Adam? What do you think? You think Diddy's going to go behind bars?
He's too much of a narcissist to kill himself.
What I'm saying, I'm being facetious.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Let's not even play that.
Let's just use the word allegedly around our friend Jesse.
You know what? No, this is Vincent Oshana belief. I'm not stupid. But what I'm saying is,
what do you
jail
think?
or
So
suicide?
I line up with Jesse. I went to school at Pepperdine with a guy who became an auditor, and he was an auditor at that time with a company called Touche Ross. And the record industry is the largest long-term racketeering organization in human history. You go back to, he never lost an audit case. He would find out that they were pressing records in the Philippines when they were only supposed to be pressing records in Mexico and the U.S. He represented a hair band called Poison. They found an extra 500,000 albums over 5 years that were pressed other ways and sold. How did you audit it? The record industry, from the cocaine controversies where they were paying off disc jockeys to get airplay, the record industry has been the largest racketeering organization, and it does not surprise me. And I agree with you, Jesse. None of those executives are going to go down. None of them. If you talk about Weinstein and Diddy, is Diddy more feared because of the groups and the things that were going around? I think he was feared, but I really thought nobody was as untouchable as Harvey Weinstein. I did not think that guy was going to get touched. I thought he was going to get retired. I didn't think he was going to, that these suits were going to do
What
it.
did the
Especially
polls
when
say,
they
Rob? That's a
split
good
it.
point.
When they split it
Right.
into L.A. and New York, and they tried him twice, and they put him away forever, I was really shocked that everybody turned and he fell.
What does a poll look like, Rob? What is it?
Right now, 65% say Harvey Weinstein, 35% for Diddy.
What's the size of the vote?
2,091 votes.
2091, they're saying 65% Weinstein was more untouchable?
Correct.
Than Diddy. Wow. Interesting on what the market is saying about that. So the only reason I bring that case study is to see if he can fall in the last, 8 years? I don't know what the timeline is. Is it fair to say about 8 or 10 years?
Correct.
If he can fall, you don't think Diddy can? The only difference between the two is, because you have to also know that Weinstein's probably got a lot of dirt on a lot of other people.
Yep.
So the fear of him falling, is he going to, like the crab theory, where one crab is trying to get out of the others try to pull him down?
Yeah.
Well, did he be the type that if, God forbid, he is going to...
He gets arrested. Well, he gets arrested, Jesse. Let's say, okay,
Sure.
You guys are right. He gets arrested. He goes in. They're like, listen, you're going to stay in here for the rest of your life. No money's going to get you out. Who had you recording? Who'd you give those record? Who was on them? Who told you to do it?
So Diddy's guy, Stevie J, who's all wired into this thing, came out
in Miami
the other day and put out this video and this post and said, Diddy partied with everybody, and put out a video with Kevin Hart was in it. Kanye was in the video.
Yeah.
Basically the biggest A-list celebrities you can see. And he's basically saying, hey, you know you were at my house. I know you were at my house. If I'm going down, everybody's going down.
Right.
And even his bodyguard said he'd testify. He goes, I'm not going to take the fall for Diddy. If I'm called, I'll testify.
I'd like to find out how deep this goes in the hip hop music industry. So you talk about Stevie J. I don't know how familiar with him. There's a party in Miami every Sunday. It's been the biggest hip hop party in the world at Live, #1 club in the country. It's called Live on Sundays. And the DJ host is Stevie J. Diddy's there, DJ Khaled's there, Rick Ross is there, every Sunday. And they have pre-parties and they have post-parties. And I want to know how many of these people are going to speak. Because all these parties, all these stories, it's not just exclusive to Diddy. I want to know where they're all going to start.
Yeah, but here's my question to you, though. Would you speak if you were like you said, everybody, we know all y'all were there, and like he said, if there's allegedly cameras everywhere, what are you going to say? They have you on camera. Well, oh, by the way, that young girl that everybody was talking to, that 17-year-old, yeah, you were with her. Oh, shit. What are they going to talk about?
That's the Epstein play.
That's you open your mouth, and guess what? That footage is going to come out. So who knows where that plane went
That's what
and
I'm
what
saying.
was on
So
it.
what I'm asking is if one goes, is it going to be the mob style where 62 people are being raided all of a sudden? Is it going to be, hey, a bunch of guys are getting calls, a bunch of guys are being investigated? Like, remember when in New York when they said you have whatever this was, the timeline, in the next 90 days, If anything, then Jamie Foxx was there. Then even the mayor, what's his name, Mayor Adams was a part of it, and a bunch of other guys. And then boom, it shut down. Do you remember that when the whole everybody was trying to get somebody?
Oh yeah, the case of the what was it, Tom? It was like a certain amount of statutory.
They changed it to like 20 years.
And everybody's like, he raped me.
And all the women ran to the courthouse.
Right. So what if all of a sudden now, because this is the next phase we don't know about. So think about it. If all of a sudden 30 girls come out to 30 other celebrities that were at the party.
Oh, my God.
And now they get linked back to those parties. That's the next thing that you're sitting around saying, oh, shoot, what just happened now?
Oh, God.
Because every day, this is not, how many people you think are sitting down and say, dude, I hope this thing goes away. I hope this thing goes away. I hope this thing goes away.
Everybody that was there.
It's the same thing they did with Epstein.
That's what I'm saying.
Remember the same thing, and then you find out Bill Gates is at the Epstein place, all these other people are.
And that's why his wife left him, because she couldn't deal with that relationship.
If we learned anything from Epstein, this story's not going away.
Yeah, there's one more angle here. Jesse, what is the news media hearing on the Diddy FBI long-term informant side? There's a lot of stuff below the surface.
We've only heard that one comment from Kanye, who said he was a Fed, and then we heard it from the former bodyguard who said he was informing to the FBI. Other than that, we don't have a lot of information, and we can't nail that down. But according to that Lil Rod lawsuit, too, he witnessed Diddy going in his closet in his bedroom and pulling out guns and giving it to a bunch of guys that were wearing all black.
Jeez.
It was also an allegation that he had the local sheriffs paid off. It was an allegation that he had contacts with local gang members in Los Angeles. I don't know what that means, but it looks like Diddy's playing both sides.
Is this Kanye?
Rob, if you can play that clip. Yeah, if you can play this clip.
I'm not sure if this is the right one.
Okay, but you're saying that Kanye was the one that said he was
Kanye said he was a Fed.
He said Kanye.
And
This is the one.
Yeah, and the former bodyguard said it.
And I heard
when was this video? Was it on Drink
This was a
Champs?
while ago. Go ahead, Rob, just play.
I have the address to my child. None of these niggas that want to say something
Travis
now.
gave you the address, though, right?
Travis gave me the address.
Right.
But as far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these niggas, all you fake hard niggas, fuck you.
Wait,
hold on.
Okay.
All you fake hard niggas, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck because you can't shoot nobody anyway. And the reason why you got to talk is because you did a deal, you fucking Fed.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to come at me, because part of the deal for you to be able to do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're going to go pull my co-car. So y'all niggas shut the fuck up about me. Now let me say it calm. You niggas shut the fuck up about, you shut the fuck up about
you know what
How much credibility does this guy have?
No, but hold on. But you know,
less than zero, maybe?
But you know what he's saying, though? If you make a deal with the feds, you could go out there and shoot and get arrested, but then you get to get out way more leniency because you're working for them. That whole rapper image.
I think there's an angle here, and I think it hasn't been seen yet, because there's a lot that goes in. Is like, why has Maxwell been sitting in prison? Why hasn't the list come out? What happened to Epstein? Was Epstein really Mossad? There's a lot back there that seems a lot of smoke and maybe a lot of fire. You just have to look at the history of informants and do a little research, and there's patterns here. Manuel Noriega, CIA informant from 1950 to 1980 for the CIA, president of Panama. He goes sideways, kills his, Spatafora, kills Spatafora, gets Barletta, the president, to resign. George Bush Sr., previously CIA, says, hey, our informant's out of control. What should we do? We need to liberate the people of Panama. It was the largest American military action since the Vietnam War. 27,000 military went down, extracted and put them on trial in Miami, and put him in a U.S. prison. That's a good way to make your informant set up.
Jesse,
I think there's shadows here of this. I think there's shadows coming.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, it could. So that is one pattern. If you look at the case in New York with the nightclub shooting, where his protege Shine took the case instead of Diddy. Diddy allegedly had J-Lo smuggle that pistol into the club, and that was cleaned up. He was never charged for it. Shine took it. And then you have the other allegation where there was a shooting in a bathroom at a Diddy recording studio, blood everywhere. That was in the lawsuit. We saw the photographs. And police came in, cleaned it up. Diddy said it was a drive-by. Guy bled out in the bathroom. No charges again. So that's a pattern of very favorable treatment by law enforcement. It just makes you a little suspicious, that's all.
And that's a fair thing to be suspicious about, right? When you see something like that. For the people that are watching the podcast today who want a signed copy of this book, there's 3. Here's what we're doing. Anybody who goes on vtmerch.com and places an order for $50 or more, a minimum of $50, you go to vtmerch.com, place your order. You can buy Future Looks Bright hat, whatever you may order. We're going to give you a PBD Podcast Future Looks Bright mug. We're going to put in a pin and a keychain. And 3 of you on Tuesday will do a raffle to give away those 3 signed copies. But you got to go to vtmerch.com and place an order for a minimum of $50. The first 100 will be part of that raffle.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.